it. So yeah, I don't know. It's again, I think 60 minutes good. Got ourselves into a great position and then made it more difficult than it needed to be.
Is there an emphasis getting on the front foot? 2 games now, 2 goals early.
Yeah, I mean that was obviously we weren't happy on Wednesday. So again, it was a big onus on listening to the home opener. We got to make sure we start with a lot more intensity. We did make the decision to be a bit more direct early on, just to make sure that we were playing in their half. And, I think we did a good job of that. We picked up some second balls and we were able to kind of, get some early balls into their box and put them on the back foot a little bit. The goal always helps. It kind of gives the guys confidence. So, again, much happy with the first half showing in particular.
So, Robbie, come out, they have the other game. What kind of emotions are going to be?
Not a lot, really. Yeah, just more worried about the game, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I know it's cool and it's definitely great to celebrate with the fans and have them here. First time playing a league game since that all happened. But no, I think it's very much like we got to take care of business tonight and put a good performance out and get 3 points.
You're up 2-0, coach, at halftime. What was the message to the team?
Yeah, just a couple of little things really. It was actually kind of nice because obviously Wednesday we were talking about intensity and tempo and getting at the guys a little bit. So this was more about kind of little tactical things. I think we just most of their chances were coming from balls into the box. So it was about making sure we get man behind the ball, making sure we're stopping the balls coming into the box. Still continue to try and get pressure on the ball when we can. Don't be content being 2-0 up and being content to just drop off. So it was about keep the intensity, know that they're going to start launching balls forward, and lo and behold, we get the third, and then balls start coming in, and we struggle to deal with the ball. So.
With Sam Bassett's goal, was there a little bit of joy for you, knowing that a player has that confidence that he can take a shot at it? It's not simply just stick with the system, recycle the ball. That he has the confidence to be able to take that shot.
Yeah, it's great to have added players who can give us that dimension as well, right? I think again, something we've talked about in the off season, coming into the season, is adding more goals, right? And I think Sam and Elliot give us that. Elliot did a good one as well. So it's good. Listen, we want to obviously get balls into the box, and we want to create chances that way. That's going to give you more high quality chances, but when you have a player like Sam who can strike a ball that well and he gets a little bit of time at the top of the box, it's a good one to have.
Were you confident it was always going in?
I was right behind it. I had a great view of it. Yeah. Once it left his foot, I was directly behind it, so it was good to see.
Speaking of personnel, just your thoughts on the squad rotation now and some of the decisions you made tonight in terms of not only the lineup but also tactically where you were. It seemed like a little bit more five people at times.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think sometimes the way the games go, and I think that can sometimes influence our wing backs a little bit. So we always want Junior, Pera, and Max to get into the attack as much as possible. I think we probably put a little bit more emphasis on them being an outlet if we needed them to be, whether that's in behind or whether that's dropping a little bit deeper to get on the ball. So maybe a small tweak with those two guys, and then I think, truthfully, I just kind of put the 11 out there that I thought gave us the best chance to win. Again, not a lot of guys did, great on Wednesday and did themselves justice. So, we kind of went back to what we felt was our strongest team, and I think again we started the game well, and then to be able to bring the likes of Robbie and Elliot in, midway through the second half to try and get a little bit of a foothold back in the game, which maybe we did a little bit. We were able to get a little bit more pressure on the ball again and just have a little bit more energy in the middle. Sam and Charles had put a lot into that first hour, so to have the quality of Elliot and Robbie off the bench, and didn't even use Jackson tonight, but to know Jackson's there and to have Alal to bring on, kind of shore the defense up a little bit when we're looking a little bit kind of tired back there too was great. And then Trevor again, another seasoned guy who we can bring on and hold some balls up and close down. So I think, again, we're still in this kind of stage right now where we're trying to find our feet. It's always good to pick up 3 points when you're still in that phase. I think when we play like we did for the first 45 and maybe 55, 60 minutes, then I think that's
How about Beto's defensive effort there with off the header? I mean, he was able to get back just enough on it to glean it off the crossbar and clear it away. It's
a big play at a big moment. I think it was 2-0 at that time, so that keeps the difference there. you know, I think we played him central tonight to just kind of change things up a little bit more on the ball than anything else. But I think he's someone who can organise and lead at the back. So having him in the middle, I think was kind of a deliberate decision to see if we can, you know, get a little bit more influence from him. But yeah, again, I think it kind of goes back to we were letting them get too many balls into the box, and Jääskeläinen's good in the air, and they have other guys who can win first balls and second balls. So something we got to stop is kind of those entries into the box and try and get more first contacts. But yeah, thankfully we got over the line.
Were you a little surprised at the fight they put up after being down 3-0?
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect that. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, I think again the first one's a set piece. It's a little bit of a scrappy one, but I think once they get any type of glimmer of hope, they're gonna kind of come roaring back. And you can hear their bench just get a little bit more excited, and you know, they grab the ball and they want to try and get a second and get a third. So, you know, I'm not surprised that any team's not going to give in.
Good.
Thank you guys.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Zach.